Welcome to Go Eagles. I'm your host, Jeff Kirkay. Today we're going to discuss some of the benefits of beginning your hockey career with the North Olmsted Hockey Club. My first guests today are longtime North Olmsted board member Ed Garrity and the head coach of our Might ADM team, Dan Frederick. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hello.
Good morning.
Ed, can you give us a little history about the club?
The club was started in 1971 by a group of parents who formed it to coincide with the Cleveland Suburban League, which was the youth hockey program at the time, which also then pushed them into joining or forming the North Olmsted Varsity Hockey Club. And as a matter of fact, we celebrated our 40th anniversary last year, and one of the founding fathers, Dick and Gail Jones, are still presently involved in our club as well as the high school program.
Wow. Can you tell us a little bit about how kids can get started playing hockey at North Olmsted?
They start with our Mighty Might program, which is usually 4 to 6-year-olds, which we get from our Learn to Skate program, and we start them on Sunday mornings. That leads into our Might ADM program, which are up to 8-year-olds, which then goes to our squirt program, followed to our Pee Wee program, our Bantam program, and then we hand them off to various high schools.
Okay, so Mighty Might sounds like the place for kids to start. And when does that begin?
Mighty Might is a great place to start. We start that usually on Sunday mornings in October, and we try to run a program to introduce you to hockey because hockey is an expensive sport for equipment, and we try to read them on Sunday mornings for the first 3 sessions, and then every time after that it's like a 4-week session at a nominal fee. And then once they graduate from that, we turn them over to the Might ADM program.
Okay, and then the Might ADM program, how does that work?
That takes it from there. That starting this year, it's takes the place of our Might program, and they play half ice. And that the reason behind that is mostly they more touches to the puck, faster game, gets the kids more involved. And then from there, they can be in that from 2 to 3 years. They move into our squirt program, and then right up the ladder.
Okay. Dan, could you explain some of the benefits of the ADM philosophy and then maybe talk about some of your impressions after your first year with the ADM program?
Well, like Ed mentioned, we do play half ice, and a perfect example is putting a 5-year-old into a T-ball organization. You're not going to have them playing at Progressive Field. Right. So to take the ice and to cut it in half, it gets more touches to all the kids, and it kind of eliminates where maybe there's a kid that's been playing 2 or 3 years that may be dominant on a full ice sheet of ice, where he can skate from one to the other, and you're going to have a newer kid that's maybe going to chase him around. Right. So that kind of eliminates that process. They've also trying to make it more fun. In any sport, it can be overwhelming, and instead of just pursuing practice in any one sport, they're trying to incorporate having it and making it more fun, and that's really the basis behind ADM. And one of their philosophies is play, love, and excel in that order. So if we can teach them to play the game and have fun, then they're going to learn to love it, and if they're playing it and loving it, then they'll excel.
Did you notice a big change in the ADM program, how the kids developed and how quickly they developed?
It was amazing. We had a great year this year. The kids really pursued just watching them grow in all aspects of the game, and I truly believe it is because most of the kids really loved it and were passionate about it, and they wanted to be there. They all wanted to be there. They couldn't wait to come back. So yes, extreme great strengths.
Great. Well, obviously it's called North Olmsted Hockey Club, so North Olmsted's a big draw, but Ed, can you tell us a little bit about all the communities where North Olmsted Hockey Club
we draw all from the western suburbs. We heavily draw from Olmsted Falls. We heavily draw from Avon. We get people from Fairview Park, even from Rocky River, even though they have their own program. And we try to draw from the western suburbs, and anybody can come. We even draw as far as maybe Strongsville. We've had people come from Medina. So we do draw from a great surrounding encompassing.
Great. Tell us a little bit about players' fees and practice times at North Olmsted. I know there are some preconceived notions about the cost of playing hockey.
Well, hockey is an expensive sport, and a lot of the expense is the equipment. You have a lot of equipment you have to pay for, and unfortunately, your son or daughter grows every year, so you have to change your equipment every year, which becomes economically bad for a lot of people. So what we try to do is provide a lot of ice at a low cost, and we've applied that to, like, you're on the ice maybe 2 or 3 times a week, and you have a game. So inevitably, you could be on the ice 4 times a week at our program.
Great, great. So Dan, you're with a group of very young players, obviously. How do you see the future of hockey shaping up in Northeast Ohio?
Well, watching the talent level grow, I've got great expectations. Watching what organizations are also incorporating the ADM, but especially what we've done in North Olmsted, I think there's a great future.
Good, good. Well, obviously you guys have been very helpful today. For you, what sets apart North Olmsted from the other travel programs? Maybe we'll start with Ed and then go to Dan.
What I like us is I consider it a family. And my best thing is I still get involved with the ADMs and with the Mighty Mites because I love following some of those kids. And I love following them like they're my own kids or my own players. So when they're going to high school, I go to their high school games and I remember them from, wow, you were a Mighty Mite. And then in turn, as a matter of fact, last year we were at our community event and 2 kids came up to me that I saw 15 years ago and they still remember me. So we try to keep it like a family oriented, all family. Helps out, everybody being friendly, and the kids can grow from there.
Great. Thanks.
I agree. There's something about hockey that gets in your blood, and there's a passion uncomparable to any other sport that I've ever played, and in talking to parents. And I agree. This year, the group of parents that we've had, they were all very committed. It's a lot of time commitment in hockey, but it's a great, great family fun sport, and a great time to be a family together.
Terrific.
And that's what I like.
Terrific. Well, thank you. I want to thank you both for your time today. The future is certainly looking bright for hockey players in Northeast Ohio, and we'll be right after this short break.
The North Olmsted Hockey Club has been serving Northeast Ohio since 1971. Programs are available for kids from ages 4 through 14. Young skaters can begin with our Mighty Mite program, where they learn the basic skills like skating, passing, and shooting. They would then move on to our ADM Mite program. This is where gameplay is introduced as the young players begin cross-ice scrimmages. 9 and 10-year-old players face a new challenge as they start playing full-ice games at the squirt level. Pee Wee players learn to master those skills on the big ice as the game gets faster. At the Bantam level, players begin preparing for high school and beyond. The game is faster, and the addition of checking challenges players in every aspect of the game. ADM through Bantam level teams practice a minimum of 2 times a week. North Olmsted also brings in specialized coaches for several clinics each season that focus on specific skills, such as shooting and power skating. We also have goalie-specific clinics twice a month to improve their skills as well. Most travel teams also go to 1 or 2 out-of-town tournaments, making for a great team-building experience with fun memories that will last your child a lifetime. After the league playoffs, each team's successes are then celebrated at North Olmsted's Team Recognition Night. For more information about our club and tryout dates, please visit www.nohc.net.
Welcome back to Go Eagles. We're going to shift the topic to the players who have been in North Olmsted's program for a few years. Joining me now is Bantam coach Rich Tomor and player parent Stacy Servideo. Welcome. Rich, you've been an active member with the club for a few seasons and have had 3 kids play at North Olmsted. As a coach, what philosophies do you bring to your teams?
Well, Jeff, I think the main thing when coaching youth hockey is skill development. The American development model, which has been developed by USA Hockey, heavily focuses the coaching on skill development. Skills means skating, passing, shooting. Hockey, unlike basketball or football, is a game where plays are not really executed as they're drawn up. Hockey's a very dynamic sport where things generate on their own, and teaching players to read and react to the situations and use the skills that we work on in practice is paramount to success.
Well, the club was pretty successful last season. Talk a little bit about that and what you see in store for the coming seasons.
Well, we had a tremendous season last year. All 5 of our travel teams qualified for the Cleveland Suburban Hockey League playoffs, which is really an unheard of thing to have that kind of success. We had 2 of our teams win outright division titles, and 1 of our teams won the playoff championship.
Great.
To accomplish those things in our league is not an easy feat. The competition all over town is incredibly intense. There's a lot of teams playing for those titles. It takes a big commitment from coaches, players, parents to get that kind of success. It just doesn't happen by itself.
Great, great. Well, Stacy, like my sons, your son Zach has been with North Olmsted since he was a Mighty Mite. Tell us a little bit about his hockey career thus far and where you see his playing career heading in the future.
Zach started with Mighty Mites when he was 4. He was a young Mighty Mite, and he's been with the program since then. Played travel for the last 8 years. He has had the opportunity to develop his skills both on the ice and off the ice. The lessons they learn through hockey really go on to the be-life lessons. How to work well with others. You know, you may not have your best friends on your team, but you have to get along with those kids on the ice and work well together to accomplish a goal. They feel a a level of success no matter what the scoreboard says. You know, there's just a great opportunity for them to really grow and move on from there. Also, I think it's important to notice that the families in North Olmsted are really close, and that we have learned through other experienced families, you know, the ins and outs on hockey. So we weren't a hockey family previous to Zach at 4 being a Mighty Mite, but we were given the information we needed from the other families, the board members. Everyone's been really helpful in helping us get Zach to where he's at now. And in the future, he looks forward to playing hockey at North Olmsted High School. He really wants to be an Eagle forever.
Great. Well, what about the program, North Olmsted Hockey Club itself? What benefits have you noticed over the last few seasons?
Well, the rec center in North Olmsted has a renewed commitment to improving the rec center. They have done a few things so far, and they do have some long-term goals to do some improvements there at the rec center. Our hockey club has really done some really great things this last year by bringing in some outside professionals to assist with some coaching clinics and then some player clinics to help the kids. It really is a big deal to the kids to see some of these high school coaches and coaches from higher levels to come in to teach them some skills. It really is a nice renewed commitment to the families and the kids.
Great, thanks. Rich, from a coaching perspective, tell us a little bit more about these clinics and the benefits that you've seen there.
Well, we bring in outside groups to do coaching clinics, player development clinics, and goaltending clinics. The coaches' clinics have been invaluable. As a coach, you're always looking to add things to what you do. A lot of what we do is repetitious at times, but when you're open to new ideas, sharing ideas with other coaches, and just learning of new ways to present things, it really helps freshen what you do and engage the kids better. So the coaching clinics have been phenomenal. The player clinics have been excellent. It's a good value-added component of our program for our members. It's good for kids to get breaks from their normal coaches, hear different ideas, different voices. A lot of times presenting the same things, just in different ways. Again, it keeps it fresh, keeps them interested. Our goaltending clinics have been one of the best things we've ever done. We bring in an incredible instructor who works with our goalies about 9 times a year during the season, and the benefits are just incredible. You see your goalies develop throughout the year. As a coach, I know, one of my weakest spots is coaching a goaltender. I've never played the position, and it's really nice to have that extra level of instruction to call on.
Now you've talked about the practice and the clinic side of things, and then there's of course the playing side of things. Talk a little bit about tournaments. How many do you average during a year?
Most teams probably participate in, I would say, 3 tournaments a year. The mix of out-of-town to local tournaments is different depending on the dynamics of the coach and the parents involved. My team last year, we played in Niagara Falls prior to the start of our regular season, and we played in Ann Arbor at the conclusion of our regular season. In between, we mixed in a few in-town tournaments. Tournaments are a great reward for the kids, right. Especially the out-of-town tournaments. It's a tremendous chance for team building. The kids and the parents get to spend a whole weekend together, traveling around in a different city and having a good time. It really brings the whole thing together. I think Ed and Stacy mentioned, the hockey family thing. Right. And, when you build a team and build a family, it really makes the whole experience really enjoyable for everybody, not just the kids, but the parents. And it's a big part of what we do. Great.
Well, Stacy, people that are interested in getting started in hockey are going to need about something we talked about in the first segment. We'd like a family perspective on it, as well as the costs. How do most families handle the cost of travel hockey and going to these out-of-town tournaments that Rich was talking about?
There's a few things to be considered with when you're talking about the cost. There are the equipments, but there are opportunities to swap equipment, get used equipment. I used to arrive home and there'd be equipment left in our doorstop. Once people find out your child plays hockey, if they have equipment, they're happy to give it to you. So you can get some assistance with the equipment that way. The fees for, you have your players' fees, and then you have your tournament fees. The players' fees, there are opportunities to do a little bit of player fundraising through the club to work down those fees, and then the tournament fees are developed through the team. So a team, once it's placed, will have some fundraising opportunities to work down those tournament fees for the whole team. So there are opportunities to have that fundraised down as well. And then really the only cost that the individual families have to worry about is when you travel, your hotel, your food, your entertainment while you're out of town. And that, you know, depends on each family's wants and needs.
Great, thanks. Rich, I'm interested to know what do you think that hockey is preparing the players for, you know, once they leave the program?
Well, we send players in a lot of different directions. Some players move on to play high school varsity type hockey, others move on to play high school club hockey, others move on to play recreational hockey. I think the key thing we look at is we want to send kids out of our program having developed a genuine love of the game. Some of our players will stay on planes, some will become coaches, some will become officials. There's a place in this game for everybody. It seems that once hockey's in your blood, it stays there. And I think Dan mentioned that. It's, again, it's a big family, and there's a place for everybody in the game down the road.
Great, great. I appreciate both of your time today. I'd be interested in kind of final thoughts from both of you. Let's start with Stacy, then go to Rich. What sets North Olmsted apart from the other travel programs in your mind?
In my mind, it's a sense of community. You know, from the minute we walked in the rec center, the very first time, strapping on those little tiny skates for Zach when he was 4 years old, there were people I had no idea who they were. And they came up and they just kind of embraced our family and embraced Zach as a player and encouraged him along the way. And we've seen that at all different levels.
Great. What do you think, Rich?
Well, I agree with Stacy. My family participated in a different club at one time. And when we came to North Olmsted, it was the same kind of feeling, very accepted, wanted. The program has been nothing but a tremendous thing for my kids. I've had 3 sons now play in the program, and I can't say anything bad or anything. Yeah, everything's been good, very good, all the way through, and the board leadership and the coaches, and it's just really been a great experience.
Terrific. Well, I want to thank both of you for your time and insight into North Olmsted Hockey Club, and unfortunately we're running out of time. Thanks again to Ed Garrity and Dan Frederick from our first segment. For more information about our club or to get your players' hockey career started, please visit www.nohc.net. And remember, a child on ice is seldom in hot water. Go Eagles!